Hi guys, I'm Sandy and today I want to talk to you about brains. Delicious brains. Just kidding, I am not a zombie, although I have felt like one very recently as I recovered from COVID. I had what they call brain fog, and I have to say, it isn't fun at all. I forgot about stuff all the time, I was confused, I couldn't even remember some words, and I most certainly couldn't record videos about anything. The thoughts just didn't flow, you know? I am all better now, but that got me thinking about how our brains work and what we can do to make sure they're healthy and well taken care of. And that's what this video is all about. So let's get to it, shall we? One could say that the brain is one of the most important organs in our body. Also, you can transplant a lot of other very important organs, but not your brain, right? Which means you are stuck with the one you've got, so you may as well keep it healthy. Because the brain determines every aspect of your life. If you think about it, you kind of are your brain. It is a 3-pound universe that processes 70,000 thoughts each day using 100 billion neurons that connect at more than 500 trillion points through synapses that travel 300 miles per hour, and the signals that travel through these interconnected neurons create the basis for, our memories, our thoughts, and our feelings. But like any other part of your body, it also ages, shrinks, slows down, and becomes less and less adaptable to change. Let's see, what else can I tell you about the brain? Contrary to what you may believe, it cannot multitask. Instead, it just switches between tasks, which is why multitasking increases errors and makes tasks take much longer to complete. It also triples in size during the first year alone and reaches full maturity by the age of 25. It can also generate 23 watts of electrical power, with enough energy to fuel a small light bulb, and is made of 60% fat. So fat is good when it comes to brains, okay? And another bit of information that may go against what you've heard is that we use all our brain, not just the 10% we sometimes hear about. Plus, it is always active, even when we sleep. Tell me, how is your brain doing? Is it something you worry about? What do you do to take care of your brain? Leave me a comment below letting me know what you do. I would love to hear from you. Also, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up to let me and YouTube know about it. I'd really appreciate it. Now, aside from the obvious things that can happen that damage your brain, like a serious injury or lack of oxygen to the brain for an extended amount of time, there are actually a lot of things we do in our day-to-day lives that hurt it as well, like exhausting ourselves to the point of burnout. Did you know that burnout can cause premature aging of your brain? I've actually already talked to you guys about how I experienced burnout in my 20s that made me shut down my business, right? And I've also talked about how it left lingering consequences, like how I have really bad short-term memory now. I went from doing theater and memorizing, all kinds of lines to not being able to remember a 4-digit PIN without having to write it down. It's definitely something to consider when you're pushing yourself until you can't take it anymore. But it's even easier than that to hurt your brain, with the food you eat, your daily routines, even your laziness. So let's talk about the 10 things you can do to take better care of your brain and keep it as healthy as possible. Now, the first thing would be to challenge your mind and your memory, and this can be done by learning something, anything. A new skill, a new language, whatever interests you, or by completing a puzzle, or even doing Sudoku, anything that mentally stimulates you. Even visiting a museum or watching interesting TV shows can do that for you. Next, you need to get physical exercise, because being physically active and doing cardiovascular activities increases the blood flow to your brain and your body. And some studies show it's been known to even help prevent dementia. Now, have you noticed how physical exercise advice is always followed by healthy diet advice? Well, this is no exception. Here's the thing. What you eat is the fuel for your body and yes, for your brain. So a healthy and balanced diet that is lower in fat and higher in vegetables and fruit helps reduce the risk of cognitive decline. And you probably know the rest. Avoid cholesterol, saturated fats, trans fats, and choose fish, fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats such as olive oil or canola oil instead. Now, a great diet is also the best way for our next tip, which is to improve your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and take overall better care of your heart for a healthy brain. Because evidence shows that the risk factors for cardiovascular disease and stroke, like obesity, high blood pressure, and diabetes, negatively impact your cognitive health. And while we're on improving health advice, another way to take the best care of your brain and your body really is to avoid smoking and limit your drinking. Yes, I know, all very boring party pooper advice.
Oh!
But what did you expect? For these things to be good for the brain? Well, here's the good news. Moderate drinking is good for the brain. It's the overdoing it that hurts it, okay? Bottom line, many of the substances found in cigarettes damage the brain and impair your memory, and having more than 2 drinks a day can be toxic for your brain as well. Next, you need to take care of your emotions and your mental health. And we've talked about burnout, but depression, anxiety, and stress are also known to contribute to cognitive decline. And they can also cause chemical changes to your brain and just damage it. Now, another tip that I think is kind of obvious is you need to sleep well for your brain to be healthy. Not sleeping enough can damage your brain, hurt your memory and your overall thinking. And if you add to that sleep apnea as a reason for your lack of sleep, meaning you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain, and the damage can be considerable. The good news is many sleep disorders are treatable, so talk to a health specialist if you're struggling to fall asleep, if you have insomnia, if you wake up during the night and can't go back to sleep easily, or even if you snore, which can also be a sign of sleep apnea. Okay, for one more obvious tip, which is to protect your head. Well, duh. Nothing causes as much damage to your brain as a blow to the head, right? A concussion is a sure way to fast-track your cognitive decline. Now, I'm not saying don't live, don't take risks. I'm saying be smart about it. Use a helmet, fasten your seatbelt, take all the necessary steps to prevent falls. Next, in order to take care of your brain, you need to build strong social ties. That's right, I am telling you to buddy up. Staying socially engaged has been associated with a lower risk of dementia and a longer life expectancy. So find social activities that are meaningful to you, like volunteering or joining a book club or a choir if you enjoy singing. You get the idea, right? Share activities that make you happy with your friends and your family as much as you possibly can, okay? Last but not least, it is extremely important to talk to your doctor if you think something is off brain-wise, You know yourself and your brain better than anyone. So if something isn't quite right, you are the best person to notice it. Ignoring it or not giving it much thought can have big consequences, because it can be a serious issue or it can become serious by lack of care. The sooner you address it, the sooner you can get it sorted. And while we're on the subject of doing what's best for you, I definitely recommend that you watch this next video about how to be selfish the right way and how being selfish can seriously improve your happiness and your overall life quality. So take a look and tell me what you think. That's it for me today, and I'll see you over there. Bye bye!